Mistakes. We all make them, sometimes. And when they're about your CPAP therapy, that could mean disturbed nights and tired days, which tends to make everything in life a little bit worse. So here are the top 5 mistakes that loads of people make, but you can easily fix. So if you're the kind of person that sometimes make mistakes, keep listening, because I'm going to tell you what they are and how to fix them. Hi, I'm Ruben from RespShop, and for over 16 years, we've helped more than 1 million people suffering from sleeping disorders improve their sleep. So this video is based on some of the experience that we've learned along the way. Mistake number 1, choosing the wrong mask size or style. Put simply, a mask needs to do 2 things well. It needs to deliver the air coming from the tube to the right place, and it needs to do so in the least uncomfortable way possible. So if you get the size or the style of your mask wrong, it's going to be less effective at doing one or both of these things. If the size is wrong, and by that I mean a lot of CPAP masks have different cushion or headgear sizes, then it might press uncomfortably on your face or your nose, and quite likely it would leak air from the places where the fit isn't good. And the style of mask can make a big difference to your comfort as well. There are 3 different styles of CPAP masks: full face, nasal, and nasal pillow. It's important that you get the right mask style for the way that you breathe or sleep. Nasal and nasal pillow masks only cover the nose, so you can't breathe through your mouth with these masks, but they tend to be smaller and more comfortable. And if you're the kind of person that tosses and turns a lot in your sleep, then a mask where the hose attaches to the top of the head, like the ResMed AirTouch N30i or the Philips Dreamwear, among others, can help you avoid getting tangled up in the tubing. But more than just considering how you breathe, think about what CPAP machine and accessories that you're using. Some styles are incompatible with certain machines or accessories, and others may work, but end up having a bad side effect. For example, those same masks with attachment at the top of the head are known to make smaller machines like the Transcend Micro sound even noisier. So how do you avoid this mistake? By getting the information you need before purchasing your mask. To get the right size, you should get the size guide of the mask you're interested in. You can usually find them on the manufacturer's website. Be aware that size guides are not universal, so you need to get the one for that mask model. These can then be printed and used to measure your mask size. Alternatively, many masks can be ordered as a fit pack, which will give you a cushion of each size for you to try out and see which one works best. Once you know, you can then just reorder that size when it comes time to replace your cushion. As for getting the right style for you, again, this is a case of getting as much information as you can before investing in one. There are loads of videos on our channel and elsewhere that review and advise on mask styles. And of course, you can always consult with one of our medical professionals at RespShop when ordering a mask on our site. And we offer a 30-day mask guarantee. So if you do purchase a mask and then realize that the size or the style is not right for you, you can easily return it even after you've given it a few weeks of a trial run, which is pretty great. Mistake number 2, not adjusting the mask properly. Even if you do have the right size and style for your mask, there are going to be problems if you don't fit it properly when you put it on. Now, those problems include mask leaks and general discomfort. Sometimes the bad fit is because you're not putting the headgear on correctly. Some masks should have the cushion secured against your face first, before the headgear is then pulled over your head. Others should be put over the head first, with the cushion then being moved into place. If you get this sequence wrong, it can make the right fit more difficult. Check the mask manual for the best practices of your mask. Other times, getting the headgear right can be about making small changes to the clips and straps until you bring your leak rate down and feel comfortable. Again, there's often a technique to how you do this in terms of the order in which straps or clips should be adjusted. Your instructions should explain this process too. Also, one of the most common mistakes I see is people adjusting their mask to fit when the machine is off. Now the problem with that is the mask might fit great when there's no pressure, but then when the machine gets up to that max pressure, it begins to leak, usually because the mask is now too tight and little creases appear in the cushion where air leaks out. Now what most people will then do is double down and crank their mask on even tighter to stop that leak, but that only makes the problem worse. A mask that is too tight leads to more leaks, interrupted sleep, and strong red marks on your face in the morning. As counterintuitive as it may sound, quite often the mask needs to be a little looser, not tighter, to fix leak problems. The best way to fit a mask is to have your machine on your maximum pressure setting and adjust the straps to be a good tightness at that point. When the machine is off, it might feel a little loose, but the silicone cushion will expand and the mask will tighten as the pressure runs through it. Finally, if this is a continual problem for you, then there are mask styles that don't require adjusting headgear at all, like the Bleep Eclipse or the Fisher & Paykel Solo mask that has a revolutionary and very simple kind of headgear that doesn't need adjusting like traditional straps. Mistake number 3, not allowing enough time to get adjusted to CPAP therapy. Now this is a big one for new users. When you start CPAP therapy, you can find it very uncomfortable. You can feel claustrophobic, and things like the noise can actually make your sleep worse to begin with. And that's why a large number of apnea sufferers give up on CPAP before it has really had a chance to work for them. It can take time, but your sleep will improve as your body and mind adjust to it, so stick with it. Now, thankfully, there are some things you can do to help the process. What works best will depend on what is most difficult for you. Some mask types, like nasal pillow masks, can rub on your nostrils when you use them, which can make them very sore, but your nostrils will harden after a while and the rubbing will stop being sore. So a good practice in the beginning is to just wear the nasal pillow mask when you can and swap it out for another style when the rubbing gets too much. Then try to increase the frequency you use the nasal pillows as your nostrils harden, and soon you'll be able to use them full time and reap the rewards of less leaks and a stronger seal. To overcome claustrophobia or other anxieties around your CPAP therapy, try wearing your mask for increasing periods during the day while you're doing something relaxing, like watching TV or reading. This will help your mind get accustomed to breathing through the mask without the pressure of needing to fall asleep. And if it's getting to sleep and staying asleep that's the problem, then you can try some comfort features like RAMP and expiratory pressure relief, or EPR, that can help here. RAMP reduces the pressure of the air while you try to fall asleep, and EPR drops the pressure a little when you breathe out. And if you aren't making good use of warmth and humidification to your air, then this can make all the difference as well. We have other videos about these features if you don't know about them already. I've linked them in the description. Mistake number 4, ignoring mask leaks. Yep, back to masks again, the source of so many CPAP errors. This time it's mask leaks in the spotlight, or more accurately, not being in the spotlight, because some CPAP users just ignore it, but you shouldn't. High mask leak rates reduce the effectiveness of your therapy, and they can dry out your eyes, and they can considerably increase the noise level. The first step to fix this is to run a mask leak test, which is something most machines have. Then you need to try different things until you pass it, preferably every night before you go to bed. If you're passing the test but you get high leak rates during the night using a nasal mask, it might be because you're expelling air through your mouth. Fix this by keeping your mouth closed at night using a chin strap if you need help to do so. If you fail the mask leak test, adjust the straps or cushion to improve the seal to your face until you do pass the test. If the seal still isn't good, then make sure you have thoroughly cleaned your skin from oils, especially around the area where the cushion makes contact. Facial hair and oily skin can really cause problems for mask seal, and give the cushion a wipe with a mask wipe 2 or a spray and wipe it with our CPAP cleanser. If the test is still failing, it might be that it's time to replace your mask cushion. Cushions should be replaced at least every 3 months to retain their seal. So if it's been longer than that, or if you can see stress or damage to the cushion, then replace it. It might also be that your headgear is losing its tension. Headgear should be replaced every 6 months to function properly. Now if you've done all that and the test is still failing, you could consider adding a mask liner to the cushion, as this can sometimes improve the seal too. Finally, mistake number 5, neglecting regular cleaning and maintenance. This one is very common for users of all expertise. After all, no one likes cleaning things today, especially things that are awkwardly shaped like CPAP equipment. But I can't stress enough how important it is not to neglect proper cleaning of your equipment. CPAP is meant to improve your health, but if it's soiled and not sanitized correctly, it can actually be doing you more harm than good. Neglected equipment can lead to a lung infection from bacteria colonies growing in your tubing. The warmth and the moisture that passes through this equipment means that it is susceptible to bacteria and pathogen growth if not regularly cleaned. Fortunately, fixing this is easy. It just takes a little effort and time. We've done a video on how to clean every part of your CPAP equipment properly and thoroughly, and we also go into how often each part needs to be cleaned. It's linked above me and in the description if that's of interest. And if time is really of the essence for you, we've also put out a video with some time hacks for cleaning too. Again, it's above and in the description. If you fix these 5 common CPAP mistakes, it should make your life so much easier and your therapy so much more effective. And if you're struggling and want some advice on ways to help, then you can check out our website or give us a call. We have sleep professionals on standby. After all, The point of CPAP is to get your therapy right so you can say good night and then sleep tight. See what I did there?